Good Friday morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to The Dose. Happy to be here. Magic Man Mark Hutchins on the mic, joined by the man behind the mic, Mr. Jereme Kleven.
I'll roll it.
Yeah, that's a new one. You know,
I'll roll it.
Yeah, you know, I'm figuring, you know, you are a man behind the mic. And then we got the dude behind the glass, Mr. Byron Filson.
Hi, guys.
Happy Friday, everybody. Back in the house, the S Group, Mike Swanson.
Yes,
and
sir.
Peter Sandoval,
Good morning.
also known as the
Spanish assassin.
I don't know if you guys knew that. Sandoval, the Spanish assassin. So,
You got one Swanson, Sammy, Samsonite?
Swansea, Swimmy.
First time you've ever heard that, I'm sure.
Maybe only once,
Yep.
maybe twice.
Are you related
Now
to the
twice.
Swansons?
From the
Dumb and Dumber.
from the dinners?
Yeah, from the dinners.
Dinners, you know, Dumb and Dumber. You know, I'm still waiting for my residuals, but
Yeah, right. I mean, come on, that's a lot of some serious residuals.
You hear us talk about you know reaching up in relationships, and maybe you should start
Reaching
tracing
up.
out the family tree,
Yeah.
and maybe
Just call
you were
them.
left out somewhere.
Just call them.
Just kind of fell
Or
off.
how about
Yeah, just
how
kinda
about just
fell
call them and say, "My name's Mike Swanson."
yeah,
I'm here to collect.
yeah.
I didn't know if you know
Collect.
what my last name is, but I
Right.
deserve something.
I need to get a hold of Jim Carrey or his agent, I think.
Maybe you should trademark Swanson. See what happens. So yesterday we kind of with the hook. So let's dive into open houses today. I want to hear your guys' strategy. Everybody's got a different way. You know, there's the mega. There's the which is a phenomenal strategy. There's the good old fashioned bring the food, talk to people, sign them in, put out enough signs. I mean, tell us what you guys do, and then tell some of the newer agents and even experienced agents that are doing them your follow-up process, because getting them to sign that sheet, right? That's what we're trying to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
So let's hear it.
So, I mean, really, open houses are huge for us just because, at the end of the day, it's really people try to think about, different ways that they can kind of grow their business. But at the end of the day, it's really kind of about sticking to the basics. So it's a matter of, picking what works for you and really, tackling it head on. So for us, like we were saying, a lot of the cold call, a lot of the circle prospecting, open houses have kind of been what has been successful for us and what will continue to be successful for us. So in regards to the process for the open houses, I mean, a lot of it kind of goes back to, we actually have a gentleman that we hire that sets up signs for us. So on average, we're setting up anywhere between 30 to 40 signs per open house. And
What service is that?
it's the service called
Freelance?
freelance
called
services.
called my buddy.
Yeah.
One of Mike's good friends, yeah.
Nice.
very, very loyal
I
friend
like
of mine.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And he just deals with you exclusively.
Very fortunate. Yeah, very fortunate to
That's
have
a
him.
very I'm not. Hey, you're
Yeah,
not
no, it's
breaking any
awesome.
rules. I asked
Yeah,
the
no, it's
question,
great.
Yeah,
and don't have to tell. You don't have to say his name because I see what you're doing. You're hoarding him.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I get it.
No, he's
Because we're looking.
so are we. Do you have anybody else?
Yeah, right.
No.
So what's his phone number and address?
You're right.
Or can we find
No,
him?
that's great. You guys at least took the wherewithal to realize that it's a need, and it's a huge saves you time,
Especially in the summer.
So you can do
Especially in the summer.
and it's so you guys can show up as opposed to putting signs out for 40 minutes.
Right.
You could talk to neighbors, right?
Yeah, so it's all about
go into more. Sorry.
kind of leveraging our time, obviously, and it kind of allows us to do some door knocking beforehand. So we'll actually try to hit as many neighbors as we can as we're going, up to the open house, as well as try to hit some businesses, in the surrounding area. Just try to get as much traffic through the door as possible.
So see, you almost have to switch your mindset sometimes, right? Because people are looking like, well, do I have to spend money or can I just do it myself? And the point is that you're not just spending money. You're investing in him to go out and do that, to clear up your time. Because if you go out and you get one deal out of 10 or one deal out of 20, you're paying
Makes
yourself
it
back.
all worthwhile,
It
yeah.
makes sense to make the investment, obviously, in the chance to free you up to do something that has a much further reach and much bigger opportunity for business.
Absolutely. And, our philosophy is always it only takes one. So, even if we're having a little bit of a slow week, if we get one good solid prospect that comes through the door, that's all we need. And that week itself has paid off at that point.
So we were talking off air too, and I didn't want you to forget we were talking, say, going back to basics, right?
We said that just a second ago, but yeah, I was going to hone in on that too.
I want talk a little more about that because we say it all the time that people complicate the business. but tell some of those basic activities that I mean, I don't mean to, it's not that they're basic, important activities that are your time, but that are very good investments of your time.
No, absolutely. So kind of going back to that, like I said, a lot of it kind of goes down to the prospecting, the cold calling, the door knocking, the open houses. And those are the 4 that have worked for us. I know there's, as far as, kind of some people tailor their business as far as online lead gen, and, a few different things, but it's really a matter of picking what works for you and really getting it, because a lot of people, they
go out and get it.
Yes.
The thing with the business is that as it continues to grow is that there's so many different tools and techniques that kind of come into play. So everybody's kind of, jumping all over the place.
They're distracted.
Is this going to work, or is this going to be the new thing? And, they get so distracted that they stray away from what has been, giving them their success. So that's kind of been the biggest thing for us, is that, we've just stayed so disciplined to what has worked for us. And that's why right now, we are continuing to grow so that, we can hit our 30 million this year.
So that's the projection this year, 30 million.
That's the projection. So yeah, last year, if you want to go into it, so last year we did, last 6 months, we've signed over $7 million in clients. We've closed already 2, and we're about to close another 1.5 in February. And hopefully this month, knock on wood, tomorrow, we'll have another 3 million signed in this month in January.
That's fantastic, guys.
You guys are doing it.
Yeah, you guys are doing it. And Jereme
awesome.
has been talking, because, we've been talking a lot about 4DX. We've been talking about the lead measures versus the lag measures. You guys have mentioned you want to get to 30 million. So I'd like to kind of know, what are those, what's your lag? So so 30 million, right? So,
right.
But what are those lead measures? What are those 3 or 4 things that you guys are going to do heavily? Which we've talked about.
I guess we've talked about, So I guess, the 4 hours of the phone, the 4 hours on the phone every single day.
So
how many open houses a week you guys doing?
So right now we're actually doing 4 open houses every week consistently. We've been doing them Wednesday through Saturday.
And how long have you been doing those for?
So Wednesday through Friday, we do them just because of the time of day. We do them between 3:30 and 5:30, just before it gets dark. And on Saturday, we do them 12 to 4 p.m.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
3:30 to 5:30.
And then before that, we're doing door knocking from 2:30 to 3:30, either expired door knocking or open house door knocking. It all depends on.
You guys are working.
You guys are maximizing
nice,
every
solid,
hour of your day.
long days out there hustling it after. And when we say get it, it's not just like, go out there, and hustle. It's, go out there and get the business, because the business is out there, right? What channels are you going to go out there and find it? So again, you guys are working long days and long weeks, and I love it. These are things, when Mark talks about the lead measures, these are things that you guys can control in your business, right?
You can do 7 open houses one week if you want.
Whatever it is,
right? If you wanted to, yeah.
I'm serious,
And the thing is,
and that's only going to give more, right? You're going to get more from that.
No, of course. But, the biggest thing for us is, like everyone always says, time is money. So we've really developed a system that has kind of been working for us, and we've become very efficient at it so that we can be productive throughout all the hours of the day versus kind of skipping around, hopping around. From when we get into the office in the morning, we're pretty much like ready to go right then and there.
I hope everybody's listening. So from 9 to 1, they're cold calling, right? Call it cold calling, whatever you want. They're red Xing, okay?
Red Xing.
They're red Xing.
Red Xing Mojo in.
Yeah, and Mojo, and they're what's up. We have red X and Mojo, love it, right? So, and then what are they doing? He said from 2:30 to 3 or 2 to 3:30.
Well, Monday and Tuesday is a little bit different just because we have to get caught up, but we're still trying to lead gen, either catching up with more calls, follow-ups, cold calls, or door knocking. It doesn't matter.
And I'm sure in that 9 to 1, there's probably follow-up, of course. That's
of
part
course.
of the whirlwind.
Absolutely.
But then you guys are planning out and carving out the week. My point is you're doing this from X amount of time to this time. Then you're door knocking before your next prospecting activity, which is a prospecting activity in itself. So you are maximizing
results,
that. Yeah,
which is just so weird.
I don't know why they're closing deals. Hey guys, why are they opening escrow? I don't know, because they're prospecting all day. But you are maximizing your hours in the day,
maximizing them. Yep.
And you're doing it efficiently. You're not, like you said, sitting and doofing around at the office. You're calling when you're there, and then when you go out and about, you're effectively reaching out on the offense and getting in front of homeowners. And then you're doing the opposite by doing the open house and letting the buyers come to you. So, you're working 2-3 different angles every single day of prospecting.
knock.
Hello, I'm
knock,
knocking. If I can get a knock on that, I mean, hello.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is life's going to get in the way, right? There's things that are going to happen. We're going to have to, we've last month we've had, it was kind of crazy. One of our clients just recently last night called me at 10 o'clock at night saying their wall of their backyard got ran into from an accident, and we're about to close in a month, right? Stuff's going to happen.
Just crazy thing. Yeah.
Even crazy things happen, right? Life's going to get in the way. You're just going to have to handle it, like you said, the lead and lag measures, not make sure you're getting caught in the whirlwind, right? And move forward. Because when it comes down to it, when you talk to everybody, it seems like everybody knows an agent. My friend, my family member. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like you said, there's so many people in Arizona. What is there? 4 million people in Arizona? I don't Phoenix, whatever it is. Yeah. I mean, it's insane. Go out and get it.
So a couple younger guys, ramping up right now. What's your biggest challenge? What's the biggest challenge in your business, or maybe hurdles or obstacles you guys face right now?
Experience. I mean, we've been in the business for X amount of years, but
and you look young, with all due respect, which is a great thing, dude.
Right.
Cheers,
Don't worry. Yeah, cheers
to that.
Especially with the new wave coming in.
Baby face power, bro.
Baby face buyers are coming in too.
Well, and to ask that question too, we were talking about the last week or two, whenever it was, on the next generation,
Gen X, Gen Y.
X, yeah,
Right.
So do you think about that stuff? I mean, as a 23-year-old over here, do you think of how to appeal? How do we, or where you're at, or you're just in pure prospecting mode? It doesn't even cross your mind.
No, we definitely think about it. So, obviously there's pros and cons to kind of being a little bit at a younger age. For some of the older generation folks, we show up to their doorstep and, they kind of feel a little bit questionable if, this schmuck here is going to be able to sell my house, right?
It happens. It's going to happen. But
right.
It's okay.
And you can't do anything about that besides, put on the best presentation that you can and, see if you can get them to trust you to get the job done. But, the thing that's kind of really been great for us is that a lot of, kind of like you're talking about, the younger generation does appeal to us just because, they feel like they can relate to.
And they respect the work ethic.
Right.
Yeah.
They can relate a little bit better, and they respect, how aggressive we are with the process to make sure that we can get, the best deal possible for them.
And going back to the open houses, like how you said, our process with that real quick, basically this man is a genius. I mean, honestly, I sometimes sit back and watch him go to work. I mean, it's great. They come in, he, asks them, hey, thanks for stopping into the open house. Do you guys, he asks them qualifying questions. You guys live around here? You guys looking to move in the area? And then you just, goes in and lets them walk around. If you have any questions, let us know. But the seller actually does ask everybody to sign in if you guys could as a courtesy. So basically what he's doing is literally asking for their numbers without asking for them for their numbers, right?
That's the main thing is how many, you got to get X amount of people to sign into a sheet. Period.
And even after they kind of shut us down, I'll still kind of chase them around a little bit. And 90% of the time,
until they give us the number.
90% of the time they'll give me some type of contact method, whether it's an email or a phone number. Obviously, we always go for the phone number just because it's a little bit easier to reach them, of course. But it's worked out great. You'll still get the looky-loos here and there that just don't want to give you any information. But aside from that,
you have to ask to get it. You've got to figure out a way. A nice, soft approach. You're just trying to be nice, and you have to lay it on the seller. We go as far as we make a frame, and we put on there, per seller's request, you must sign in prior to viewing the home.
There you go.
That helps a little bit too at the sign-in sheet, and that table is at your face at the door, so that stops them a little bit.
You can't.
But I hear you don't want to be too aggressive. But
you got to be pleasantly persistent, like I talked about yesterday.
You can't GET if you don't ASK. So that's the biggest thing.
And with the Spanish assassin, we always say it always.
The Spanish assassin.
We always say, every single time we do any kind of lead gen, right? No matter what kind of day we're having, it only takes one. So our last open house, we had 4 people literally came in, did not want to give us any kind of information, no email, no phone number. Literally told me, I asked them multiple times. A Spanish couple came in. As soon as he started speaking Spanish, I could see the husband smirk at him and literally break down his address, his information, everything he wanted to give.
The Spanish assassin.
It's an instant rapport building, so it's just instantaneous.
And it works.
Yeah.
But it's always pleasantly persistent, and it's the fact of the matter is, no matter what kind of day you're having, always remember it only takes one.
Yep.
Well, you guys, I tell you what, man, you're impressive. 30 million this year. I have no doubt you guys can do it. I love the goal.
We'll have to bring you back in a few months and
we're
check
gonna have
in.
to check
Absolutely.
in on it.
Oh, yeah.
But your time is valuable. Thanks for coming in. We know that taking time, even an hour a day is tough sometimes, but it means a lot to us, means a lot to listeners. You guys are hustlers. We know you're going to do it.
Keep getting it, right?
Let's do
keep
this,
rocking
man.
And rolling.
Let's keep doing it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Go out there and get it. Thanks again to Peter. Thanks again to Mike.
Thanks
Rock
for
and
having
Roll
us.
S Group
Absolutely.
in the house. See ya.
See ya.
Go get it.
Bye-bye.